Hello and welcome to our weekly market roundup, your one-stop source for the latest in global market trends, key economic insights, and top financial news. I'm your host, Daniel, bringing you the highlights and the happenings from around the world. Let's dive into the numbers and stories that moved the markets last week. So what happened in the market last week? Let's take a closer look. The major global stock indexes declined slightly. In the US, the S&P 500 index fell 0.5%, while the Nasdaq declined 1.1% and the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 1.0%. Over in Europe, the Stoxx 600 index ended 0.46% lower. Japan's Nikkei 225 index fell 0.4%, but the broader Topix index gained 1.1%. Inflation was a hot topic. Eurozone inflation rose for the first time in 5 months, with the annual rate ticking up to 2.6% in May, exceeding expectations. This stirred up uncertainty about potential policy easing by the European Central Bank beyond June. The ECB's chief economist hinted at lowering borrowing costs at the June 6th meeting, with future moves hinging on economic data. In currency markets, the Japanese yen depreciated to around 157.3 per US dollar, with investors keenly watching for data on potential currency intervention. Meanwhile, the British pound remained stable against the US dollar. Commodities were a mixed bag. The Bloomberg Commodity Index dropped 1.8% over the week, with oil, WTI, falling 0.8% and gold slipping 0.4%. Emerging market currencies weakened, with the MSCI Emerging Markets Currency Index down 0.6%. Economic data painted a mixed picture. U.S. pending home sales plummeted 7.7% in April, marking the biggest drop in over 3 years. On the bright side, the U.S. Core Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge, rose 0.2% in April, slightly down from the previous months. Overall, markets remained highly sensitive to central bank policy signals and interest rate paths, with volatility creeping up from recent lows. Investors are eagerly awaiting next week's U.S. Consumer Price Index data for May, which could offer more clues on the Federal Reserve's monetary policy direction. That's a wrap for this week's Market Roundup. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest market news and analysis. Until next time, stay informed and stay ahead. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you next week.